It's John G. Sutton here. Tales from the jails. I'll talk today about an article in the Daily Mail today concerning prisoners who have been uploading videos onto TikTok. And on these videos at TikTok, they're getting people, I don't know how they get paid on TikTok, but apparently inmates are boasting that they're making, £1,500, £1,700 a month just on the TikTok. They're also posting videos of parties that they've been holding inside the prisons, where they've been taking drugs, marijuana and spice being the top of the pops at the moment. Never tried either myself. And showing images of inmates half-dressed, naked to the waist, dancing round, generally having a pretty good time. And they were saying the way that they actually do this, they've got to make friends or befriend what they call a corrupt officer. Well, there obviously always have been corrupt prison officers. There's corruption throughout society, so there would be in the prisons. But it seems that it's quite easy these days, and they were saying why it's easy to get hold of the xenophones. I don't know if you know what one of them is. It's a miniature phone. It's about this big. It's about 1/6 of the size of a normal phone. And they can be quite easily secreted about the body in some reasonably available orifice, I expect. And the way they get them smuggled in by the staff. And these phones in a normal retail outlet or on eBay or whatever will cost approximately £20, and in prison they're selling for £1,200. So there's a certain degree of incentive for the staff to do that, especially as the staff are working at places in London. All those of you who are familiar with the rental prices of property in London will know that if you're going to get, say, a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom flat, if you can get one, that is, it's going to cost you £2,000 to £3,000 a month. Now, £2,000 to £3,000 a month is going to be the totality of your earnings from a job like being a jailer at the Scrubs or Pentonville or Wandsworth, that kind of thing, So if that's what you're getting paid, how do you manage to live? How do you afford to live? And the way that they are managing to employ jailers, I've been down this route many times here, that they're getting young girls and 18-year-old boys. When I joined the prison service practically 50 years ago, you had to be at least the age of 21, and there were certain physical requirements. You had to have a certain chest capacity. You had to be physically strong. They conducted a medical. Indeed, at one point, I was the hospital officer who, alongside the the senior medical officer, would conduct the medicals for staff applying to join the prison service. Strange thing happened, I tell you. I was doing this medicals and it was females for female, because they didn't employ females in the male prisons then, but they were interviewed by the same board. It was a board of governors. They had a governor and 2 chief officers. That was the board that interviewed you to see if you were suitable to be a prison officer, because they actually took some time about picking what they considered to be the right people. And I got this young lady came in. She'd probably be about 25, something like that. And I was, of course, dressed as a nursing officer, which is what I was. White, white nurse's coat, stethoscope and all the rest of it. I had to take the blood pressure, test their eyesight, measure them, weigh them and all that, And, of course, I'm sat behind the desk. I said, do please take a seat. I'll be with you in a second. Yeah, and she said, do you want me to undress? I said, no, perfectly all right. I'm just going to... No, she says, I will do. So I started to whip all her kit off. I cannot do this, you see. I can't allow myself to be compromised like that, you know. But before I could stop her, blouse up and tits out, I said, excuse me. I said, do you mind getting dressed? I've already told you don't do this, you know. But she, all right, you know. So I thought, it's a bit strange, this, you know. Anyway, went through the routine, you know, testing the eyesight, you know, weigh them and all the rest of it, measure the height, which you had to do. It was fairly straightforward, that. And then you go and see this senior medical officer in another room, you know. It was it was something that had to be done, but they took time then. Now listen, all this stuff about finding corrupt officers, I mean, if they're using selling phones for £1,200 that they paid £20 for, they only need to do a couple of them. It's the rent paid, isn't it? Then they've got... Yeah. But the problem is, you get caught doing that, you're going to end up doing 18 months. So the prisons are self-perpetuating. They're hiring staff that are corrupt because they don't pay them enough money, and then they lock them up and they go in the prison. What kind of a game is that? Madness, don't you think? But it's in today's Daily Mail. Have a look. There's some pictures in there showing inmates rocking and rolling. And apparently, if you look on TikTok, I haven't seen it myself, but the Daily Mail, whoever the researcher is, that there are pictures of inmates holding parties, and the quote saying, it's just like being in Butlins. Well, it will be. I mean, 50 years ago, it wasn't like Butlins, I can tell you that. It was more like Stalag Luft 14, yeah. and with the staff marching round with the National Front badges on and all that bollocks. They were insane as well. I mean, you can't seem to get a happy medium here, but they're going to have to do something about it. Prisons aren't working like that. Have you seen Dominic Raab wants to institute prison ships again? The man's barking mad. Anyway, I sincerely hope you're all okay. You get that? Paul has spilt a tea now, haven't you? Whoa! I can't stand around and listen to this. No. Yeah. The other one weren't bad, was it? Sunday morning coming down. I did all right with that, I think. That sound of silence, as I say, you're better off with total silence than listening to that. It was terrible. That's the song dinger, by the way, folks. And I'm going to sing to you now. So if you're still hanging around, it's your fault. I blame you, yeah? Especially Larry. Larry the Goat Herd. He's put me up to this, haven't you, Larry? He calls me Johnny Tash. I think that he means my facial hair, which is getting quite long, really, isn't it? You know, I have bangers and mash. Usually find the odd sausage inside. I don't save it for me supper, you know. I'm going to sing to you now. If that's what this is. This is a song that was recorded. Willie Nelson, Johnny Cash, and Chris Christopherson sang this. It's called The Highwayman. I like this. It's about reincarnation. And I absolutely do believe in reincarnation. As those of you who have done your homework and had a look to see who I really am. For 27 years, I was the feature editor of the newspaper Psychic World. Psychic World, then that went off then. Did you see it go off? I never touched it. It just went off of its own accord. Strange, eh? Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna sing to you now. This is The Highwayman. Johnny Cash, Willie Nelson, Chris Christopherson. I'm not going to be able to do all the voices, but I'll give it a go, you know. I was a highwayman along the Coach roads I did ride, with sword and pistol by my side. Many a young maid lost her baubles to my trade. Many a soldier shed his lifeblood on my blade. The bastards hung me in the spring of 45, but I am still alive. I was a sailor, I was born upon the tide. With the sea I did abide. I sailed a schooner round the Horn of Mexico. I went aloft and furled the mainsail in a blow. And when the yard broke off, they said that I got killed, but I am living still. I was a dam builder across a river deep and wide, where steel and water did collide, a place called Boulder on the wild Colorado. I slipped and fell into the concrete below. They buried me in that great tomb that knows no sound, but I am still around. I'll always be around. I fly a starship across the universe divide, and when I reach the other side, I'll find a place to let my spirit if I can. Perhaps I may become a highwayman again, or I may simply be a single drop of rain, but I will remain. I'll be back again and again and again. There you go. The Highwayman. Hope you like that. If you did, see me on the sick parade tomorrow. Tales from the Jails, John G. Sutton. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and buy my book, HMP Manchester Prison Officer. By the way, folks, I have now completed the first draft of my next book, and I sent it to the publisher yesterday, so we'll see what happens there. I'll keep you posted. Stand by for action. See ya.